Hey guys, Andrew McFarland from StartAJuiceBar.com here. Today, I'm going to share 5 things that I really wish I knew before I started in this business. But before I share the 5 things, if you guys are new to this channel, you don't know who I am, you don't know what we do, over the last 10 years, myself and our company has had the pleasure of running our own juice concepts as well as supporting hundreds of people all over the world launch and scale successful juice bars, acai bowl businesses, healthy cafes, and more. So all the information on this channel is coming from that wealth of experience. Early invitation, press the like button. It supports you, it supports the channel. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That way you get alerted when we release new content. And now we are going to dive in, and we're going to start at number 1, as we naturally should. So what's the first thing that I really wish I knew before getting started in this business? It kind of might sound like I'm contradicting myself in this statement, but I'll elaborate, okay? That there are smarter ways and faster ways to do things, but there are no shortcuts. What I mean by this is that definitely you can save yourself time, you can save yourself money by doing things smart, and at the same time, you have to go through the process of graduating into being an entrepreneur, right? Because sometimes it even takes time for you to realize that. You can know that conceptually, and there are a lot of things that you will know conceptually. I know a lot of people who watch this channel and they come back years later and like, oh yeah, I was listening to you and now I understand. I should have done that. I should have done what you said. And I'm like, okay, I hope I'm trying. And I'm happy that people have that realization in hindsight, but I'm also kind of sad because I'm doing this because I'm hoping to save people a lot of the heartache. But sometimes that's what happens, you know. You have to go through the process, just like us becoming adults. You have to make mistakes as an adolescent and as a teenager to really understand the meaning of what your parents might have been sharing with you all along. And that's the journey. So there are smarter and faster ways to do things strategically, but there really are no shortcuts in you really growing up and maturing into being a great entrepreneur. That's the first thing. What's the second thing that I've learned? Now, this statement is going to sound probably pretty old and repetitive, but it's probably, very funny because it's very similar to the thing that I talked about before in terms of something that I knew and I've been hearing my entire life, but didn't really get. And it's that it takes money to make money. Now, another way that I usually will say this is that sometimes cheap is expensive. You can do things very cheaply, but you don't even realize how much money it's costing you. It takes money to make money, meaning you have to have money to get your business to a certain scale and threshold to then make an additional amount of money. There's a certain place that if you don't get to within your business, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to grow your company because you have to have the right vehicle. And I talk about this a lot on this channel because it was a big realization for me, because you guys know that I had a truck and our truck would cap out at $800 to $1,000 a day. And I was like, wow, we have to really get another truck. We have to change our model. We have to do something in order to really have this business grow substantially, because there's limitations literally in the vehicle that we have. We ran out of space. And so it takes money. It takes money to be able to invest in a store. It takes money to grow your business in a reasonable amount of time. I did a whole video on the channel, search for it if you're interested. It's called The Velocity of Money. It talks all about how it's important to understand, even if you're making money, the question is not, are you making money or are you not making money, but it's how much money are you making, how fast. Very important, okay? So that's number 2. Number 3 is that your passion is not enough. This was a big lesson for me because I'm someone who has no problem working hard. I'm very passionate about anything that I put my attention on. I will work really, really hard. And then what I realized is you can work really hard in the wrong direction. Passion and effort is really only half of the equation. Strategy, direction, that's the other part of the equation. Because if you're just running and you're like full passion, full power, you think you're going in the right direction. You're like heading, you want to head to the mall, you want to head to the bank, but the bank's that way and you're going this way fervently. So I learned that I had to make up for what I lacked in knowledge and experience in even more effort. Whereas I probably could have, just like I always say, I can push a car up a hill, or I can get in the car and put the key in the ignition and drive up the hill. One's really difficult, if not impossible. The other one is simple. The car doesn't care. It just needs to get up the hill. So your business success doesn't care how hard or easy it is for you. You just need to succeed. And passion is definitely not going to be enough for that to take place. And I overvalued passion, and I undervalued strategy, and I also underestimated the level of nuance that it would take to be successful in any business. I was speaking to a friend the other day, and she just asked me, "Hey, Andrew, I have this project, this business I've been working on. Things aren't going the way that I want to. It's a small, kind of online business. I'd love for you to evaluate some things and give me some feedback." So we spoke, talked to her for about an hour. And when she was done, she said, "Wow, I really didn't think that it was going to be so in depth. I thought that I was just going to make a product and people were going to buy it because I'm a good person. Like, people like me and I'm likable." And I'm like, "No, that's not the market. People don't care about that anymore, right? People need to have a lot of things come together." And so don't overvalue your passion. Don't underestimate the level of complexity that can go into really being successful. Otherwise, you'll work really hard for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and maybe come to terms with the fact that that wasn't enough. So I want to save you some time. Educate yourself, invest in your education, invest in your mentorship. It's a really big deal. You need to do it. Okay, next lesson, number 4, something that I wish I knew before I got started in this business, is actually having a bigger business can be easier to run than having a smaller business. It seems, once again, like a paradox. I'll explain why. But in the beginning, for me, I used to think, okay, let me start small. Let me start with a juice truck business because it'll be more accessible. And in some ways, that's true from a financial standpoint because it costs less money to get into. But it was much harder to run than a storefront. Much, much harder. Which seemed weird to me because I always thought the bigger my business gets, the harder it's going to be to run. But that's not the case. The reality is that when I had the experience of having a bigger business that made more money, I had more money to hire higher performing individuals that I could delegate to that help solve more problems. Everything got easier the bigger my business got. Because in the beginning, it's you. You're just one person. Maybe it's 2 of you. You have to do everything. Accounting, make the product, deliver the product, clean the place. When you have a bigger business, you just focus your energy. Other people clean the business. Other people do the marketing. Other people do et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you can just focus your attention and energy on the things that matter most and that are most enjoyable to you. So that's the other paradox. Some people think, I don't want to start a storefront because it's going to be so much harder and I'm not ready. But paradoxically, it was much harder for me to run a juice truck than it was for me to run a storefront. So that's one thing I wish I knew before I got started. Now, what's the final and last thing? What's the 5th thing that I really, really wish I knew before I started my business? And it, in some ways, is related to the entire theme, but I'll just distill it like this. The decisions that you make are more important than the things that you do. I'll say that again. The decisions that you make are more important than the things that you do, because the decisions contextualize the direction of where you're going. So deciding to put things on your menu is more important than making the product and delivering the products, because that's behind everything. As you get more mature and more impactful as an entrepreneur, you really start to think, oh, it's actually all about decision making. Your work becomes much more emotional and conceptual, right? There's much more mental energy and emotional energy and intelligence in you being an effective entrepreneur than you deciding, oh, I need to run from here and I need to go there. I need to just, you're not a doer really as much anymore as a decision maker. That becomes your entire day. It becomes most of what you do. So in order to make good decisions, you have to have clarity of mind, you have to have clarity of your being, and you have to have intelligence to understand the strategy of why making certain decisions are important. You need to have a game plan. This is why a coach, there's one coach on a football team, one coach on a basketball team, and the coach is very, very important. Now, they're not on the field and they're not playing the sport, but having a great coach can be the difference between putting people in the right position, running the right plays, telling someone to rest when they need to rest, right? You're a general, you're a director, you're guiding everything as the right entrepreneur. It's way more important than what you do. the decisions that you make. So I'll leave you with that. If you guys do need support with your business, going from A to Z or any from where you are and you want to take things to the next level, reach out to me personally at Andrew@StartAJuiceBar.com. Happy to have a conversation. Don't be shy. I know some of you are shy. Don't be shy. Reach out. We'd be happy to talk to you about how we can help you. And then lastly, if you haven't pressed the like button, final invitation to do it. This is your last chance. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Follow us on Instagram at StartAJuiceBar. There are exclusive giveaways that we only release there and exclusive content and all of that. And then lastly, we have a podcast on Spotify. It's also on iTunes. It's called the Juice Bar Experts Podcast. Easy to find. Hope you guys are happy. Hope you're healthy. I'll see you at the next video. All right, take care. Hope you guys have been enjoying the video content. If you are inspired to launch your juice business, but you're not exactly sure what steps to take, for you, we've created a free ebook, 15 Steps to Starting a Juice Business from Scratch. This is going to give you a high-level overview of everything you need to do from where you are now all the way to opening your business. Now, if you want to go even deeper, we've created an online course, the Juice Bar Master Blueprint. This is going to go into great detail into every aspect of starting your business, everything from branding to menu development to finding the right location, the equipment that you need, and so much more, all the way to launching your business. There's links for both of these in the description below. I know you're going to find a lot of value out of them. As always, hope you guys are happy and healthy, wishing you a lot of success, and I'll see you at the next video.